Florida, you beautiful, beautiful state, you. This is the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, our next president, signing an executive order yesterday.
But now today, I'm going to let the legislatures come up. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to sign the bill. It's effective July 1st. I'll also sign an executive order pursuant to that bill, invalidating all remaining local emergency COVID orders effective on July 1st. But then to bridge the gap between then and now, I'm going to suspend, under my executive power, the local emergency orders as it relates to COVID. I think that's the evidence-based thing to do. I think the fact... I think folks that are saying that they need to be policing people at this point, if you're saying that, you really are saying you don't believe in the vaccines.
Oh, it's fantastic. I watched the whole press conference yesterday. He talked about how this law and this executive order protects people, which is interesting because for the whole year and a half, we've talked about the need to protect people from COVID, but that's not what he's talking about. There's no more risk from COVID, as I'll talk about in just a second here with some numbers, actual CDC numbers. This bill doesn't protect people from COVID. That's not even a threat anymore. This bill, an executive order in Florida, protects the liberties and the rights of the people. That's what he means by protecting the people. He means protecting the people from government, which is exactly what our Constitution was meant to do, because that's what's under assault right now. Our liberties and our freedoms, that's what needs protecting. And Florida leading the way. You may have just seen Washington, D.C., just yesterday, banned dancing at weddings. But if you read the real executive order from the mayor of D.C., it doesn't just ban dancing, it bans standing. I don't know why that's not making more of the headlines. You're not allowed to stand at a wedding in Washington, D.C., because you know, science. Okay, here's the number you need to know. This is all you need to know right now when it comes to the numbers. And when you don't wear your mask somewhere and some mask Nazi comes up and tells you to put it on, this is all you need to tell them, okay? These are from the CDC, these numbers. There are 87 million people who have been vaccinated. 7,157 have experienced what's called a breakthrough infection. Now, a breakthrough infection is when you get vaccinated, you wait 14 days, and then if you get COVID again. Now, that's only an infection. There's a difference between getting COVID and getting sick from COVID. People don't make that distinction a lot, but those are two very, very different things. So that's 7,000 people who get infected. That's not 7,000 people who got sick. Of those 7,000 who had a breakthrough infection, it's 498. We'll call it 500. 500 people have been hospitalized and 88 died. So, vaccinated people, here's the number you need to know. Vaccinated people have a 0.0005% chance of hospitalization and a 0.0001% chance of dying from COVID. That is decimal point, 3 zeros and 1. That's your chance of dying, okay? If you're vaccinated, and you are worried about getting sick from COVID or dying from COVID, you're not thinking. You're not thinking, you're feeling. I don't want to be rude. You might be mentally ill. There's like a mental illness at this point. Here's what I mean. If you were walking down the street and you saw someone on the courthouse steps screaming and freaking out about how worried they are that they're going to get hit by a meteor, right? They're freaking out. They're running all over the place. Maybe they're cowering in like desperate actual fear. And you're like, oh, wow, what's wrong? And he's like, I'm going to get hit by a meteor. A meteor's going to hit me at any minute. A meteor. You would think they're crazy. You may even call police and have like, hey, there's someone here who thinks he's going to get hit by a meteor. And he's kind of going loco, and you may want to put him on a mental health hold for his and other people's safety, right? And the police would come and they'd want to help this person. But then they'd see that you're vaccinated and still wearing a mask outside, and they may put you on a mental health hold because that guy has a greater risk of being hit by a meteor than you do of getting COVID. 0.0001. And everyone's living in absolute fear still. And people who are vaccinated and still wearing masks, you're a bunch of sheep. Wow. That was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like, subscribe, get more.